We're joined here on the show this morning with a special guest and a fellow fan of Garth Brooks, as many of us are too. Joining us on the phone is Moose Jaw's very own Jeremy Ross. Now, Jeremy, you had a really cool experience with Garth Brooks. You got to be on his Studio G on his Facebook page, but this time it was live. How cool is that?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was actually quite a surprise for me.
No doubt. How did that work out for you? Like, how did you get in onto his live stream?
Well, it was a couple weeks ago where he had that press conference where he was saying he didn't want to be in for running for Entertainment of the Year anymore going forward. So he had that big press conference. And then on Inside Studio G the week after, somebody had called in and said, well, how about we do a press conference and just have fans come and ask you questions? And he was like, that's a good idea. We'll do it as a Zoom. So I guess they had to pick people. And then the Sunday before, I was getting ready for work, and his camp had messaged me and asked me if I wanted to be involved in it. And I was like, absolutely I do. So they said, his head of PR would send an email and give all the information on how to go forward with it. So later that day, I got the email, and it was just a matter of waiting. Like, it was supposed to be on the Monday, but then it got pushed back to the Thursday. So, of course, waiting on Thursday for the whole big Zoom thing to come in, and that's how it went down. I was, shaking the whole time, so it was pretty fun.
Now, you've been on his Studio G quite a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, with that Zoom meeting, that would have been 8 times for me. And then, of course, I'm going to say 9 because I still have the footage for when you were talking to him before the concert, and he gave a shout-out to me, so I'm going to say it's 9.
Exactly. Well, you know what? We couldn't go without mentioning you because, like I said, you're a huge Garth Brooks fan, just like myself and like many of our listeners here at Country 100.
Oh, I know. I mean, music just keeps getting better and better.
So how long have you been a Garth Brooks fan for then, Jeremy?
Since I was 16. The first time I heard a Garth Brooks song, I was 16 years old, which was quite funny, right? Because before I heard his song the first time, before I heard the Thunder Rolls the first time, I wasn't even a country music fan.
So he was the one that made you into a country fan?
Absolutely. Like, I had never even heard of him, and he had already been 3 albums in before I actually heard the Thunder Rolls.
Wow. And you've gone to like almost every one of his shows since he's come back through Saskatchewan too, right?
Yeah. The first one I saw was in 1993.
Wow.
He was in Saskatoon, and then he was back in 96, so I saw him in Saskatoon in 96, Fargo in 98, and then, of course, the comeback tour, I think it was 2016, saw him in Saskatoon then, and, of course, the 2 shows in Regina.
Holy, that is awesome. And did any one of the shows kind of stand out the most to you, or just all of them have been amazing?
They've all been amazing because they're all different. Like, I remember the one show, I think it was the 98 show, he came out from the piano. And I got pictures of that. It's still, to this day, I have pictures where he's coming out of the piano and swinging off the ladder out into the crowd. It's just, they've all been different, so they're all amazing.
Definitely. And, like, of course, too, like, Garth Brooks is just, like, one of the most humblest artists that are out there.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there was a woman had put in a post on Inside Studio G and, asked him, well, where did you get that cool hoodie you're wearing, right? And, can I have it, right? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll send it to you, and you send it back to me on my birthday in February. And he did.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, she's posted pictures on Twitter about it, and, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Were you nervous when you were chatting with him?
I was. Like, the question I had asked previously, like, months ago, right, that never got answered. So I already had the question in my head, right? So after the question was done, and I got the answer, and I literally just went blank after that.
Is it crazy?
It was. And it was so weird, right? Because they told us beforehand, okay, there's going to be 20 of you. Okay, let's try to keep it short, right? So everyone gets a chance to get in. So, we don't take up, a whole lot of time. And, of course, I went second. So I was like, okay, got my question, got the answer. Okay, I'm good. I'll let everyone else come in because I could have talked for hours.
Yeah.
And then everybody after the fact, as I was listening to it, was just going on. And I'm like, oh, my God, I could have kept going.
Isn't always the way it goes? I felt the same way when the times that I've spoken to Garth Brooks on the phone and in person too. It's like you kind of walk into it like, okay, I'm going to be talking to Garth Brooks. One, what am I going to ask him? And two, am I going to remember what I'm going to say?
Well, exactly.
Oh, that is so cool.
And of course, Canadian hospitality, we keep it simple, we're polite. So
definitely. I guess the next step for you then is actually meeting him in person, hey?
That would be the final step. Yeah, that's my hope. So, fingers crossed.
He'd have to hug your neck, as he says to everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.